today for this week's How Do I series, we are going to talk about quick Valentine's gifts. So today is a lot about inspiration and some ideas of fun ways that you can make some quick Valentine's gifts, whether these be Gal-entines gifts or Valentine's gifts or Pal-entines gifts, however you want to think about it. Valentine's can be a really fun time to do something fun and creative with your sewing machine and then share it with somebody. Everybody loves something that is homemade. At least I know I do, and I suspect you know a lot of people that love it when something is custom made for that special person. So you can see behind me here, I have a beautiful Brother 5200 sewing machine, and you can see it's got a heart here. We're doing some embroidery. I've got a whole bunch of fun fabric. I've got lots of fun samples, and I'm going to talk about some different tips on making quick Valentine's gifts. So the first thing is making your own card. So like you can see here, we have a cute card, and this is done on cardstock, and then of course it would just go in the envelope. But what's really fun is you can actually embroider on paper. So there's some tips though about embroidering on paper that I'd like to share. You can see here I've got a little heart design in my hoop, and I'm gonna just open this guy, pull this guy out so you can see. What I've done here is you want to hoop a cutaway stabilizer. So originally I tried this with tearaway, and the problem with tearaway, as you might imagine, is when you are embroidering on paper, you are puncturing the paper. So if you start tearing away these puncture marks, you might actually tear the design right out of the paper. So it's much better to use cutaway because then you can gently cut around the design and you're not pulling and tugging. So that would be tip one. Use a cutaway stabilizer. This could just be general cutaway. This could be a light like no-show mesh or power mesh because it has a nice soft background, but it helps add sort of like a fabric element. That would be the one that I would use. A fabric element to the cardstock so that way the design doesn't puncture through. So the next tip is use a light design. So we tried this, we tried some designs that were pretty dense, and all they did, the weight of all that embroidery stitching, guess what it did? It just like pushed all the way through the paper, and that didn't work very well either. So light designs like this one, that's light right here, is great. I even played with some designs where you just do the inside of the design and you don't do the outer big stitching, right? You know how some designs will be two colors and the inside is all light and then the outside is like that final heavy stitch. You could just not do that color, and a lot of designs work really well that way. You can also, of course, put lettering in here, and you could write someone a nice message as long as you're doing lettering that is really light and wispy. There are a lot of different embroidery designs out there. This one was just built into the 5200 sewing machine, and so there might be some that are built into your machine. A lot of the machines on the market today have some holiday themed designs built into them, so you should check that out and see if your machine has any fun holiday designs. Lots of them have hearts and fun things like that where you could build your own like little heart outline design. You could add some words like be mine. You could put the person's name. You can really get creative, and it's really fun to do it with thread instead of painting or something and putting it right on cardstock. So this is a fun one, and of course this cardstock here that I'm using is actually by OESD. They make little packages, but you could have used really any heavier weight cardstock. It does need to be a little bit heavier. It needs to be more of a cardstock and not just like a really thin piece of paper, of course, because the design won't hold up to that. So it does need to be a cardstock weight paper. And this can be really fun. And you can see we put the tearaway stabilizer here, not tearaway, sorry, cutaway. We just discussed why you don't use tearaway. My brain is just on autopilot and I use tearaway a lot. So the cutaway here, and then we just laid the card down and we used a little bit of this pink tape. Now I get a little bit nervous that my pink tape is going to be too sticky, and so one of the things I do if I'm working with paper is I actually will put the tape first on my pants and get a little tiny bit of fuzz. And this is like an old painter's trick, right? Because I really don't want this to pull away the paper, and this tape's really designed for fabric, and so I find that it works better if you just add just a little tiny bit of lint to it so that way it's still holding it down, but then you don't run the risk of tearing your paper when you take the pink tape off. And then the other thing with any tape adhesive products like this, particularly with paper, is you want to, as soon as you're done, pull them off and don't leave the tape on here for days and days and days, because the longer the tape is on there, the harder it will be to sort of separate it from your paper. we also tested that for you and left it on for a little bit too long. So these are some pro tips that help embroidering on paper a little bit easier, but then you would just take off this here, you would pop this guy out of the hoop, and you would trim from behind, and then you would have your card all done. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other fun things that I have here. So we were talking a little bit about the shapes that are built into the machine. So I don't know if, I'm gonna just go here to my embroidery edit, and hopefully we can see well enough. But there's all of these fun shapes in here, and the heart shape can be a fun one to use. And then you can pick the different fun textures. And you can see here, I did this on a onesie, and I used the fun new sparkle vinyl. And this sparkle vinyl is great for applique. So you can take like any of these built-in designs and shapes, and you can make the hearts bigger, you can make them smaller. But it's great, almost all embroidery machines have a border heart built into them. So you can really play with them and put some big ones and some little ones together. You could have nice outlines that will work on paper, or you could do it with applique. And really fun way to just dress up a onesie and make it, or a t-shirt, or really anything, and give it sort of a Valentine-y feel. I love this new sparkle vinyl because it feels like fabric. So much of the vinyl that we have out there is really like plasticky, and so it's really designed for our scan and cuts, and it doesn't feel like fabric. But this feels, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it feels like fabric. So you can use it in places where you would do fabric. So it dawned on me this morning that a really fun thing, we have some new embroidery designs that are coming out, and one of these is these freestanding heart gift boxes by OESD. These designs are on the road to us right now. We're gonna actually get them hopefully next week. But I wanted to show this to you because how fun would it be to, you can see this is fabric, right? How fun would it be to use the sparkle vinyl in this as the fabric and make a really fun sparkly little gift box, and then you could put some chocolates or something fun in there. You may already have some different OESD dimensional, freestanding dimensional designs, because they probably make the most of them of any embroidery design creator out there. And using this sparkle vinyl would be a really fun way to give it a little extra pop. Anytime when you are putting fabric in, you can substitute. Great for applique. And it comes in all of these different fun colors. You can see that I picked out some of the fun colors that I thought made me think of Valentines, but you can see you can really embellish with these. And these are new, which is great and fun. I love new stuff. Okay, let me set this stuff down. Set it back here. So another thing is if you love Valentines, you might be somebody who has some different embroidery design collections that have fun Valentines. So I have a couple of favorites. One of them is this Be Mine collection by OESD. And it's OESD underneath their scissor tail stitches. And what I love about this is it has all of these just really fun, just a whole bunch of fun, different Valentine's designs. And then it also has the pattern in here to make this little Be Mine stuffy, like sort of like one of those conversation hearts, right? Those ones that we all, would give each other when we were kids that say, love you, be mine. They taste really gross and they're super chalky in my opinion, but I know my kids love them, but the concept is super cute. And you can see here on the front how you can make like a little stuffy thing that would be super cute. And I know all kids love anything stuffy. Like it doesn't matter. Like kids just love stuffies. I don't know why, but it's a thing. Like my daughter, who is 12 now, she still has this huge pile of stuffies. And from the time she was probably 2 until even today, she loves stuffies. And little ones like this, kids think those are super fun. Fun way to give them something that's not just chocolate or candy around Valentine's Day. You can make them a little heart guy there. But I made a couple of things out of this design pack. So one of the things we made here is a table runner. So it can be fun to make a fun table runner to add a little Valentine's cheer to your house, or this is also like a fun little gift to give somebody, right? Because who doesn't like a little Valentine's cheer around Valentine's Day to put in their house? And you'll notice that a lot of the things that I am using are actually, that I've been embroidering on here, are things that are blanks. They've been designed to be embroidered on. And the beautiful thing about that is that it makes it really easy to embroider them. So you'll notice that onesie, this was a onesie from Kimberbell, and it has an open side seam, so then you can embroider it flat, and then you just stitch together. You just sew together the side seam, and it makes it really easy, because sometimes some things that are already in shapes can be hard on our flatbed embroidery machines to embroider them. And over the last couple of months, I know I've talked about a lot of these different blanks, so you might have one of these blanks already in your stash that you could turn into a really fun Valentine's project. The other thing that can be fun to do is to repurpose things, right? Like maybe you have a simple table runner at home that, you know, is cute and all, it's a nice fabric, and you want to spice it up for Valentine's Day, and you could put a fun Valentine's Day design on there. You know, you can always go to Goodwill or somewhere, and a lot of times you can find nice blank things there to embroider, which is also a nice way to repurpose things, which I'm also totally a fan of that. Let's see here. The next thing that we have is a fun little tote bag. So this is You're the Frosting on My Cupcake. This is another design set from Scissor Tales, and this one has all of these fun sort of like larger sayings. It's called Sweet Talk by Cynthia Ferrante. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm really sorry, Cynthia. But there's cute ones like, there's no otter like you. You're the cream in my coffee. I love you a latte. I love you so much, I'd let you use my fabric scissors. I think it's supposed to be fabric scissors or fabric, either way, right? And then we've got the cute flamingo. And then one of my favorites back here is this one. You're the peanut butter to my jelly, which I think would be really cute to put on something. So lots of fun different designs in this one. And then once again, this is one of these fun blanks that you can see. It's totally flat. You can embroider on both sides of it. And then you would just flip it like this. And then you would just stitch all the way around it. And then it would be a completed project because they've already finished the edge for you and everything. And so these blanks like this can be really handy, and we have lots of different types of blanks. I'll grab a couple. Like this one was a Kimberbell blank, and it's in a little pouch like this. Kimberbell has pillows that are blanks that you can embroider on, which would also be really fun for making doing some sort of fun, cute little pillow. There's pet handkerchiefs, right? Not handkerchiefs, they're kerchiefs, right? They're more like bandanas for your puppies or your kitties. And they have blanks of those. Of course, you could make something like this really simply as well and then embroider on it. And then like these are the greeting cards. There's the table runner, comes in the sort of cream color and then also in black. And then OESD also has some pillow blanks. So there's lots of fun blanks out there that can make doing quick projects easy. I sort of like keeping a couple of these around my house. So then that way if I have, if I have a gathering to go to and I want to bring like a seasonal housewarming gift, I need to come this way, perfect, I'm out of the screen, a seasonal housewarming gift, you have something that you can quickly embroider, and you probably all have lots of these things. So these are some really easy things, but I want to show you something that one of the team members here in Tukwila is working on that would also be really fun and is really stunning. So as you probably know, we have fabric at 9 of our 11 locations, and you can see behind you we've got lots of beautiful fabric. But you can, I don't know if we can see that fabric. Let me just pull it, I guess, over here. You can? Okay. So you can see here, this is some new fabric by Moda, and it's called One Fine Day by Bonnie and Camille. And you can see it's all of these beautiful red and pink fabrics, right? And the thing about red and pink is that if you take any red and pink fabrics that are in your stash and you add white and maybe a heart or something, you now have a Valentine's quilt or something Valentine's-y. And this is a pattern that that Jeannie here in Tukwila is working on. She's making this sample, and this is one that she's sort of modified herself. It's not actually just a pattern we can buy, but what I love here is I just love how the red and the white, how white just makes it pop. I love using white in quilting, and it's particularly fun for Valentine's. So, if you have some red and white fabric, you could find a pattern and make a little wall hanging. You could make a little mug rug. You could do all sorts of fun little things with the fabric that you might already have in your stash and a pattern you might have, but if you just make it with the red and the pink and the white and add a heart shape or something, it's going to be pretty Valentine's-y. Even if you don't have a heart shape pattern, just the red and the white and the pink are going to really going to work great. So I think that is everything I have for you today. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I would love to see what you create. If you have any questions, just post back here. And next week we'll be going live again at 10 a.m. with a different How Do I?